What are timeshare presentation sale pitches like? Hi, this is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your #1 source for real estate advice online. I'm sitting here in the beautiful town or city of Daytona Beach Shores, and I'm here because I was invited by one of the companies that sell timeshares, or they call them vacation club packages or vacation insurances. We'll get to all of that, but you kind of get the gist. They sell you vacation subscriptions, and I'm here because I was invited by one of those companies again to participate in one of their promotions, and they gave me a free 3-night stay here at this beautiful hotel where I am. It's actually really nice, and I'm right by the beach. It's right there. And hopefully there's not too much wind noise, but I wanted to just give you a brief update on how exactly they go about selling you these things. But I did go into this presentation with them knowing that my intent was to research and to learn, and they invited me anyways. And some of the sales tactics that they use are actually quite interesting. So if you're selling anything online, really anything, you should definitely go to other people's sales presentations that have it down to a dot. And a vacation company timeshare presentations are probably the top of the line of what you can get in a face-to-face sales presentation. So you should definitely check them out. So first, a little bit about myself before I continue. Don't forget to go to my website. You can subscribe there to my newsletter. I do all kinds of real estate stuff. I have investment properties all over the United States, also in other countries. And I teach people basically what I've learned over the past 25 years of real estate investing. And it's basically from the school of hard knocks. I didn't have any mentors. I'm pretty much down to earth. I'm a single mom. I raised 2 kids on my own, and I've made it pretty successfully so far because I get to spend a lot of time with them and vacation, not just for this, but I actually came back from a very long vacation in Europe just now, and we're about to start our school year, so we have to head home, but otherwise we'll still be traveling. And my kids kind of want to go home. They told me we're kind of homeless because we travel too much. So anyways, go to my website, subscribe, check out my website there. My products page has several books that I've already authored, some of them on how to invest in real estate as a foreigner, some of them on how to be a landlord. There's also some tenant clauses there because obviously I've also been a tenant for many years. And my newest book is on how to make money with tax sale foreclosures. The second version of which is coming out very soon also. That's kind of like my main focus, is what I do. I also own a ton of vacation rentals, so I know the vacation and travel industry very well as well, especially if you're like a small person that has a few small pieces of real estate. I can basically teach you how to get started with real estate with nothing at all to start with, because I had nothing to start with myself. So go there, subscribe, check out testimonials, go to my Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get updates, and keep asking me questions. I actually very much appreciate the good, the bad, the ugly questions, any questions really, and I will consider answering all of them. And my process is very simple. I usually either text you back or send you back a message, or I create more videos, or I incorporate the answers in my future ebooks. So you can contact me very easily. I'm usually very quick to answer, and I do answer personally. So I'm still kind of like a one-man show at this point. But yeah, feel free to contact me. So let's get back to the topic of what a sales presentation kind of looks like if you go to a timeshare sales presentation, and how it's even set up. So I'm not going to mention the name of the company because obviously I want to avoid getting sued. People love suing other people in this country, and I apologize if it's very windy here. Trying to keep my hair out of my face. But these companies are basically the ones that call you to go to these timeshare sales presentations. These companies are actually marketing companies, and they work for hotel conglomerates basically, and condo conglomerates, and those big companies that own real estate, such as that or this right there. So they basically hire marketing companies to bring people in and have their undivided attention for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, and basically just throw the entire marketing book at you in order for you to buy something. And they will use every single tactic, and once you know the tactics, you can avoid making mistakes, because a lot of these companies are not very well rated. Some of them are. So I actually don't personally own any timeshares. I never thought it was a good idea, but my assistant, she owns several of them, and so far I've not yet met anybody who's very happy with their purchase over a long period of time. So if you are somebody who owns a timeshare, please contact me. I'd love to interview you. So let's get back to the topic, because I get distracted here easy. But these are some of the things that they do. Once you're in, you basically you get to book a vacation, and then they usually throw in another vacation, maybe even 3 of them. In my case, they offered me a 3-night, 4-day vacation at a resort, a beachfront resort, this one right here. In addition, they gave me another 3 nights for a later date after I've taken this one. And they also gave me a cruise, and everything. They've charged me, I think, $350 for everything, which is actually a pretty good price. At this particular resort, I was only responsible to pay $25 for taxes, and that was actually well worth it, because it's a great place. I'm going to show you around here a little bit. But you do have to go to the presentation. In this case, it was 120 minutes. I kind of got out there a little bit quicker because it was pretty obvious I wasn't going to buy anything, and I've asked some very poignant questions that were maybe a little bit uncomfortable and made them a little defensive, so they kind of just wanted to push me out of there because they didn't want to waste their time, which is acceptable. And I also got a $50 gift certificate, or rather a Visa debit card with $50 that was not rechargeable. So that's actually a good deal, and the hotel has free breakfast. It was a good deal for me. So the sales tactics that they've used, I'm going to just mention the first couple, because they threw the whole book at you. In 1.5 hours, somebody can talk for a very long time. So the first thing is they'll match you up with a salesperson, an individual salesperson. They'll walk you to a table, you'll sit down with them, and they'll start making friends, I call it. They're trying making friends. They'll ask you where you're from, what is your job, how often do you go on vacation, and then they'll try to pick out something, anything that they can relate to. In my case, I'm a real estate professional, so the salesperson I was matched up with, and whether that's true or not, he basically said he's also a real estate agent, and so is his wife, and they own some properties, and I mean, they really just tried to get to the human social side of you, to get into your brain, to make you feel like, hey, there's a friend, and yeah, I'll buy your service because you're my friend. And fortunately, I know that spill very well, so yeah, I make friends, but I'm still not gonna buy anything. So after that, they basically put you in front of an actual presentation person who's gonna talk for a solid 1.5 hours. And I would just recommend, if you're stuck in that, just get up and stretch your legs, because you're going to be sitting there for a while, and it's going to be a little bit boring. Get up and get some coffee. Hopefully the coffee is not out, because when I was there today I tried to get some and it was out. And just kind of like, don't get too involved with it. They'll ask you questions, and they'll ask you questions like, where would you like to go on vacation, and how many days would you like to go on vacation in your lifetime. And they basically really are pushing for that personal connection with you, and try to make you like them and their product, so that you're guilted basically into buying something in the end, or that basically you kind of convince yourself that it makes sense for you, even though it really doesn't. So the first spill that they do, of course, is they'll tell you all their credentials, how well they're rated with a Better Business Bureau, how well Forbes magazine tells everybody how good their company is, how many members they have, and they never say if those members are happy or not, but they have lots of them, obviously. and how they're not a timeshare company. They sell vacation packages, or they actually stated that they are selling vacation insurance. Like if you have home insurance and you have your car insurance, you should have a vacation insurance so that you're insured that you can go on vacation every year. Irrelevant of what your personal situation is, you'll have to pay for that insurance whether you use it or not, and that's really what it is, but it's not a necessary insurance for you to have. So they'll give you all the credentials. Now they'll go through these credentials very quickly, so it's going to be very difficult for you to make notes and actually verify that information. And when I asked for them to provide that information to me in writing so I could check up on it, I was declined, so I didn't get it. The next two things that they'll do is they'll use the Sam's Club analogy. They're basically saying how great of prices people get at Sam's Club or one of the other Costco's, those other big warehouse type retail stores where you can buy anything and everything as long as you're a member, and you have to pay that membership fee once a year. And they kind of compare that to themselves, but instead of being a retail outlet, they're actually a travel outlet, so you can basically pay your fee once a year for the rest of your life and are insured these really cheap prices for travel, which is basically a subscription to get better rates than anybody else, which is, you know, I'll tell you my spill on that, but that's basically what it is. Then they talk about Nike, the company Nike, and how Nike basically charges for their sneakers this astronomical amount of $80 or more per pair, when in order to for them to produce a pair is less than $2, and that they would never do such a thing. They would never put so much overhead on a product, that you will never see the kind of upgrade on those profits, but on those products that they sell. And if Nike can do it, and we are all buying Nike shoes, then, you know, a travel insurance or a travel subscription should be something on our plate that's very well affordable and makes more sense to us. So they're trying to, again, find these analogies, which are very hard to verify, but in this case, and Nike don't really apply, because we're talking about an item versus a travel package. And in the first case, we're talking about retail versus travel, which is, again, completely different product, completely different industry, does not apply. So the next thing that they'll say is they'll tell you that if you don't buy this package today, it's going to be like this extraordinary huge amount for you to pay later on. And I actually was able to write that down, even though they went through this information very fast. It was $9,295, and basically you get a lot of restrictions with this. You can't give it to friends or family. You can't leave it to your kids. I can't remember even. I tried to make notes, but it was very difficult. Anyways, if you don't buy it today, you have to pay this huge price. So, but if you do buy the package today, that day that you're sitting there, you're gonna get all this cool stuff and no restrictions, and one and a half award points for every dollar that you spent. And they don't really actually tell you what an award point is, or what it's used for, or how that even applies. Just giving you all this cool hype about what you might get if you buy today, and without actually explaining any of it. And they go through that slide actually really quick, so it's very hard to make notes. I actually tried to record some of the conversation, but it was useless because it was just going way too fast. Now, the people that I saw in that presentation were middle class, you know, maybe people that really would like to travel and ever so rarely don't really have a chance. And I don't even know how to describe it, but the most kindest way that I could say is they're not very enlightened about this industry and marketing and sales tactics, and are very easy to be sold on these kinds of things. So I wouldn't say uneducated, but a little bit illiterate about the topic. And so, you know, the salespeople, of course, it was almost like sharks in a shark tank, and the customers were the bait, not even the bait, the actual little fish swimming around, not knowing anything, and they're about to get eaten by these sharks. So it's a little bit sad. So I tried to, you know, influx a little bit more information here. So then they basically explain the process of how initially when you purchase travel packages, that you first have wholesale bulk, which is the cheapest way to get travel packages and hotels and all these things. Then the price goes up once the the product goes to a distributor. It then goes up to, if it goes to a travel coordinator, price goes up even further if it goes to a travel agent, and the highest price is what you pay is on Travelocity and other websites like Priceline, where you pay the top of the market price. Again, I've traveled for so many years, I can sit here and actively refute that statement. That is not true. You can get some really awesome deals on some of these websites. You can also get even more awesome deals from travel agents, and anywhere in this chain. You don't have to buy the packages wholesale, and you certainly do not have to subscribe to a travel insurance or a travel package or a travel club. I'm even trying to find the right word to use, because they don't want you to use timeshare in order to get a good vacation for a good price. And since this video is kind of long, I'm going to finish it now, show you my surroundings. It's getting a little bit dark here, and I will continue this discussion in my next video, where I'll tell you more of the sales tactics that were used. Now, if you're not interested in timeshares, don't give a hoot about it, don't really care. At least watch these videos to learn the marketing tactics that they use if you're selling anything online or even in your professional business, because this will very much help you. And I'm actually planning to record a new ebook soon, and some people have asked me about this. But basically the ebook will deal with how to market yourself online, how to market your knowledge online, which is basically what I do. I sell my knowledge online, but just the ways of how to market these things and how to market them and still be kind of stay honest, obvious about it, be an honest salesperson, and kind of overthrow some of the tactics that are used out there in industry, and how you can sell your product a little bit better and stay on the honest side, where I always try to be. So for more tips like this, go to my website, juliamspencer.com. Don't delay, and subscribe to my newsletter there, and I look forward to hear from you soon.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.